Hello folks, F Highwind. We are moving on to a game that I did try recording before, but there was then video quality issues that made me want to run and cry because I forgot to turn down the resolution, because this game has a very small resolution box, and trying to have that blown up to 1920 by whatever, it's not really pretty. This is a Sonic fan game. I've been in a big Sonic mood since the anime convention I went to. I actually hosted my True Blue Sonic panel. First time in a long time, actually. And also with the reveal of Sonic Mania and Sonic 2017, it's just put me back into my Sonic mood. I've always been a big fan of the Sonic franchise. It's my #1 favorite series, with Mega Man as #2, Metal Gear as #3. And the one thing the Sonic fan community has always done correct has been fan games. And by far, everything done by, the creator of this game. Why is that not working? Right, I forgot to do this one. Yeah, by Fake Leopard. This is the highest quality fan game I have played in a long time. Both before the sequel and after the sequel, as well as Chrono Adventure, are by far my favorite fan games I've ever played. They've got really damn good cutscenes. They've got really unique running animation, which we're going to stick with that because it's pretty damn cool. Even if the base resolution is kind of subpar with 640 by 480. This was giving me my video qualities that I had the last time. As far as what before the sequel, after the sequel, all that stuff is, before the sequel takes place after Sonic the Hedgehog 1, so we're going to go ahead and say between Sonic 1 and CD, but mostly just 1 and 2. The opening cutscene showed Sonic getting all 6 Chaos Emeralds and warping them to a new and strange land, where Robotnik is now hard at work building the Death Egg. This game kind of shows the, how Sonic and Tails met, the construction of the Death Egg, and I want to say this also shows how the 7th Chaos Emerald came to be. Things that aren't really touched that well in the manuals, except for, the construction of the Death Egg and how Sonic met Tails in the Sonic 2 manual. But regardless, it's a very solid game, good physics, good graphics. It's just a lot of fun, and why the hell not? I wanted to play it for the channel. This is my second time playing this because of quality. So let's make sure that doesn't happen again. Gotta remember I actually had to hit enter. There we go. Good game. So Hilltop Heights starts off like a pretty much interesting take on Sky Sanctuary Zone if it was way more expansive and had a lot more aspects about it. I love the smaller versions of more or less the overall arcing theme in the background floating very, very prettily. Wow. For the most part of this run, I am going to be shutting up. I love the soundtrack of this game so much. I also love the transitions like this, going from high above in the clouds to this just rainy... it's so well done. Everything from the animations to the custom sprites, I can't say enough positive things about this game. I actually gave an honorable mention to these titles during my Sonic panel. My True Blue panel mostly focuses on what I consider canon, even though I do talk about Sonic R and Sonic Shuffle. I feel like those are just have a little bit of importance in the Sonic history. But I had to mention these games as well during that. And if it wasn't for fans like this, honestly, Sonic Mania wouldn't exist. We have to thank Christian Whitehead. Oh, no. Dang it. But we really do need to thank Christian Whitehead, aka Taxman, and Cannonhead, who is also known as Stealth, for all the hard work they've done. For those who aren't aware of who Christian Whitehead is, he is the man responsible for the amazing mobile ports of Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and most notably Sonic CD. His Sonic CD port was the first time that the Japanese audio was in the States, which was very important. You could actually switch between the audio on the fly, so you could have either the Japanese audio or the American audio. When you beat the game, you could actually play through Sonic CD as either Tails or Knuckles, which was a lot of fun. Not only was that version ported for mobile devices, but it was also on PS3 and Steam. Christian Whitehead's version of Sonic 2 is also what I consider to be the definitive version of Sonic 2, because he put back in Mystic Hidden Palace Zone. Where he put Hidden Palace Zone, though, is honestly a bit of a dick move. To access Hidden Palace in Whitehead's version of Sonic 2, you had to fall down the spike pit that everybody hates in Mystic Cave Zone Act 2, where if you miss the connection to drop down the drawbridge, you'd fall to a spiky death, and it'd be unavoidable, and you would die horribly. But instead of dying horribly, it just would warp you straight to Hidden Palace Zone. Unfortunately, and this is just me from an aesthetic and music standpoint, it used the two-player Mystic Cave Zone music, which originally was going to be the Hidden Palace theme, but I would have liked to have heard the iconic Hidden Palace music from Sonic 2 within that game. But that's just me. Otherwise, it's still like one of my favorite ports of Sonic 2, and I kind of wish it would have gotten the treatment to have like a Steam re-release of it and other stuff like that. But hey, both Taxman and Stealth are coming together again to give us Sonic Mania next year, and that game is going to be amazing. Ooh, that was close. This game does give you ample warning signs, so if there is danger below you, it will give you the red triangle. Yellow triangle means there's danger of falling, but not necessarily death. There are a few bottomless pits in this game, which I want to say were represented in how they kind of had it in Generations, with the like the Sonic death sign. Now, because Sonic does retain all 6 Chaos Emeralds, there are special stages in this game, but they're not necessarily needed to beat them. The special stages are honestly only used to accumulate more lives, and because of that matter, I will be skipping most of them. Unfortunately, since it's been drilled into my motor skills, thanks... Oh, no, that sucked. Thanks to Sonic 1 and Sonic CD, I might accidentally jump into a few here and there, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to try to avoid that. They're not bad special stages, they're just pointless. My issue with special stages was thankfully fixed in after the sequel, which takes place in between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, where there are actually 2 modes of play. You could either do story mode, which included the cutscenes and all that fun stuff, but you did not need to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds to get to the final stage. But if you played Classic mode, I want to say you got rid of the cutscenes, and you had to collect the Chaos Emeralds through special stages, so the special stages had a point, which was nice. Ah, shit. The very subtle hints of Green Hill Zone in the background music. Also, I just love how it goes from like rainy, dreary to bright, colorful rainbows. So, there are 2 forms of boss fights in this game. You've got the Sonic boss fights, which play a lot like the Sonic Advance 2 bosses, and then you have the Tails boss fights, which play more like traditional Sonic fights. I was never a fan of the Sonic Advance 2 boss fights. I didn't like the constant running because of mainly physics issues. But he brought it in this game, so I gotta suck it up and deal with it. And Robotnik's grand diabolical machine for each of his boss fights, he pretty much stole Roger Rabbit's car and turned it evil. That's the only way I can really describe the boss fight, is imagine an evil version of Roger Rabbit's car. Okay, there we go. Let's not die. Not dying would be nice, but we killed it. God, I really hope Roger Rabbit had car insurance. I'm gonna touch it. Nope. I love that cutscene. Tails like, I can do that. And now we come to Star Shores, which is a really unique... I love this level. It's a really fun second stage. Introduce you to Tails, which, let's be fair, is like the best Sonic character in existence. Just him trying to keep up with Sonic and actually meet up with his idol after he saved his life. The music here is very good. Kind of reminds me of a very tropical Jet Set feel. But this level also introduces fuzzies from Yoshi's Island. And just like Yoshi's Island, if you accidentally hit a fuzzy, you start tripping. You start tripping hardcore. Tails' speed is going to decrease. His pupils actually dilate. And you kind of need to get out of your high state for you to be able to make some jumps here and there. The music also changes to influence your trip and ball state. Yep, so if you look at Tails' eyes, they're actually quite dilated right now, and the music is very not right, but then, oh, well, we kind of lost it there. But if you got a glimpse of it, Tails regains his normal dilation the second he's no longer high. But everything is slower. And a little bit delayed due to his... Okay, not his heightened state. His stone state of mind. And his eyes just pop back to normal. I love that. I love that so much. Now, if anyone does wish to play this game, a simple Google search into Sonic Before the Sequel should pull up the Google site for you to download this game, as well as the soundtrack. In saying that, though, this game you will need to run on compatibility mode if you want to experience the cutscenes. If you do not want to experience the cutscenes, and the game does run just fine on Windows 10, but if you do want to see the cutscenes and kind of enjoy the game to its fullest, you will need to run it through compatibility mode. Switching it to Windows 7 will do it just fine. The game does not have gamepad support built into it. So if you have Joy to Key, I would recommend setting that up with your Xbox or PS4 controller. You can play this just fine with the keyboard. I just prefer playing this game with the gamepad in hand. Thankfully, they did fix that with after the sequel to have full gamepad support. But after the sequel, you also need to run that in compatibility mode. So, yeah, honestly, for, like, some of it, like, the first act started off with a very Jet Set vibe. This reminds me of something that should belong, like, Super Monkey Ball. Another Sega franchise I wish they'd bring back, and not completely butcher it. I don't know, anything after Super Monkey Ball 2, I kind of felt a little disappointed. The first Wii game was alright, the second one, not so much. But the 3DS title was a huge letdown as far as Monkey Ball goes. Because they made all those courses with gyro mode ideal, and if you're just using the simple stick or circle pad, it just, huge disappointment. So let's attempt not to get high off our mind. I would like to retain normal Tails as much as I can, even though I love his heightened manic state. I don't know. Anytime I think of any characters get high, I just always assume that Manic the Hedgehog from Sonic. Oh god. From Sonic Underground was just always high off his mind. Whoa, dude. Like, that's a total bummer, man. of wish there was a Sonic Underground song all about getting high.